Hi, this is Jordan. It's been a while since I've made a video. I thought I would briefly discuss the concept of motivation, specifically in reference to training, although what I'm going to say is likely can be applied to other areas of life as well. So when someone first gets started in fitness or is returning to it, what usually is the starting point is this: I don't like how I am now, and I'm going to become this. And what they want to become is usually some kind of image, whether it's a former version of themselves in high school or some other time frame, or a hypothetical image of themselves that they've never seen before, or someone else entirely, someone they've looked up to in the fitness world or whatever. Um, And, on the surface, this seems like a sound starting point, but I say it isn't, okay? And the reason for that is by saying, I don't like how I am now, that's a belief about yourself, okay? And it's a time frame. It's saying now, whatever that means, okay? So the problem is humans, okay, tend to cling to the present. So by having a belief system that's intimately tied to the present, your mind, okay, ties its identity to that belief. So by wanting to be something else, even though you might say you want to be something else, okay, your mind is still going to cling to that belief that you've probably had for a long time, and it's very ingrained, right? And that's why it's so hard for a lot of people to even get started, is because of that. So forget saying good, bad, great, whatever, to how you are now versus and what you want to be to some hypothetical fantasy image. Forget all that. Instead, just say, I'm evolving. Period. That's it. And that's a reasonable approach because it's true. Okay, who you are today is different than who you were yesterday, is different than who you'll be tomorrow. Okay, whether it's interactions with people, what you're eating, what you're thinking about, your cells are going through changes. I mean, every year your entire body cells is replaced. That's a scientific fact. So I'm evolving, period. Okay? And that gives it a sense of fluidity. So let's piggyback to what most people's next step is in this motivation sequence. And usually this word sacrifice comes up, and everybody likes hearing that. Like, oh, this person sacrificed so much and whatever. I don't like the word. And why is that? Because by saying you sacrifice something, what does it really mean? What it really means is that you chose to do something different than you like. So think about that. By sacrificing, you're living a life of self-denial. Okay, and how good is that on your psyche? And that's why you see people crack and they go binge eating, or they give up working out for a couple weeks or whatever. Is because by always saying, oh, I'm sacrificing, this tension builds up, and it needs to get released sooner or later. So what do we do about it, right? If you recall what I said, its sacrifice stems from liking. And what you like, right, your mind automatically will dislike whatever opposes it, okay? So if you like going to Buffalo Wild Wings every Wednesday night with your friends, and eating wings and drinking beer, if anything happens in your life that comes up that prevents you from doing that, then that's a sacrifice. So if you have to stay late at work, or, attend some kind of boring family event, then you in your mind say, I sacrifice that night at Buffalo Wild Wings for something else, because that's what you like to do, okay? So what I say is, we need to get rid of like and dislike, and instead have the idea, this works for me, okay? And why is the this works for me concept important? Is because it's flexible, it's fluid. So if I do something one week and not the next, fine. If I don't do something one week and the next, that's fine, okay? This works for me. Now let's circle that back to, say, nutrition. If you eat something healthy and make it part of your regular diet, like broccoli and rice and chicken or whatever, you initially are going to have a hard time, because there's that like word again, you may like going out to Subway or whatever else you may be eating, okay? But is that working for you? Okay? You like something like eating cookies because it's filling a superficial need. It tastes good. That's it. It's very shallow, very superficial. But is it working for you? Okay? So if you start doing what works for you better because it's healthier and you feel better, like that broccoli and rice or whatever, sooner or later your mind's going to say, hey, this works for me. And what you liked before, like cookies, no longer is going to have as much significance, because, like I said, it's superficial, where what's working for you is fulfilling a bigger picture, right? So how do I, wrap this up, tying it all back to this concept of motivation? Motivation isn't really about sacrifice or achieving anything. What it is breaking down the layers of your resistance, what you believe about yourself, what you like and dislike, and so forth, okay? And by breaking those down, it creates the flexibility, optimism, and openness to do new things. And those new things are going to fulfill that greater purpose, right? What works for you, okay? And when you look in the mirror, you know whether your life is working for you or not, okay? You don't need to think of some image. You don't need to go on the scale. You don't need to think about all those details. You just know in your gut whether your life's working for you or not. And if it's not, then again, take a look at your beliefs, your likes, your life, and start breaking it down to make room for what can work for you. That's what motivation really is. So I hope that helped people, and maybe I'll make some more videos in the future. Thanks.